Okay, so yesterday when I wrote a chapter of The White Rose Butcher, which is book 5 in my Beau Austin series, I let my readers vote for book 6, and at the moment, the Acid Bath Killer is in the lead. And if it wins, I have to do a ton of research, and it's ahead by a lot of points, so I know it's going to win. So I've been doing research today. I started around like 4 in the morning, and I worked until about 8 o'clock. And then I went to sleep, and then I didn't start again until like literally half an hour ago. But in general, I know that I'm going to have to do a lot of research on different types of acid, and that originally led me to hydrofluoric because they use it in Breaking Bad. That's what Walter and Jesse use every time they dissolve a body, and I needed to know if that was true. And Mythbusters, sorry, my finger's in the way. There we go. Kind of there. Mythbusters did an episode on it where they cut up little pieces of things to represent the bathroom that the very first hydrofluoric acid scene takes place in. So they cut up tile and drywall and wood, linoleum, steel, so on and so forth, and they used a little piece of pork as a substitute for a dead criminal. Body, meat, so on and so forth. And hydrofluoric did not affect most of those things. It turned the drywall into a soupy mush a little bit. It made the pork a little bit softer, but it did not affect anything else, which means that that scene in Breaking Bad is totally unrealistic, and it wouldn't work that way. So instead they used 6 gallons of sulfuric acid and something else they called special sauce. I don't know what it is because they're Mythbusters. They're not here to teach criminals how to dissolve bodies, but it did result in a thick goo, which is more of what it's supposed to do. So I wanted to make sure that that was right. So I did a lot more research, and I read through this article on hydrofluoric acid, which does not melt through everything, even though the article says it does. It's wrong in that sense. I've done a lot of research today. But it does leave burns, like in this article here. It does leave really bad burns. This guy in 1995 died from multi-organ failure 15 days after a spill of 100 to 230 milliliters of hydrofluoric acid on his lap. And then he died 15 days later from multi-organ failure, even though it only landed on his lap. It didn't like eat through his flesh or anything. I mean, it not severely. It burned him. But over here on Wikipedia, I wanted to do another search. I know that it's considered a weak acid because of its low dissociation constant compared to strong acids. And I've looked at a whole bunch of other strong acids, so on and so forth. Burns aren't initially painful because it affects nerves, so it damages the nerves pretty much immediately. You don't feel it, you don't see it, some of them don't even appear until 24 hours afterwards. So because of Mythbusters, the next thing I did was I looked up sulfuric acid, which is the one I was originally thinking about in the first place, simply because I'd heard more about sulfuric acid anyway. Highly corrosive, strong mineral acid, yada yada yada. Same thing as before, there are many safety hazards. This is a little burn. This was superficial chemical burns. It was just a splash of it on his forearm. But this one is bad. I watched a whole bunch of videos that I am not going to show here because I'm just not. I will link everything that I'm showing so far in the description, so I will link all of the websites, I will link the YouTube videos I'm referring to, so on and so forth, in this description. But I watched a couple videos where they dunked chicken drumsticks into sulfuric acid, hydrofluoric, and something else. I don't remember what the other one was. But the sulfuric and the other acid melted, basically, the part of the chicken leg that was in the acid, and it changed into a really jelly-like material, which is the goop that is being referred to otherwise. And I also found this, which blew my mind, first of all, because I had no idea that it was a real thing. Hold on. Here we go. This guy was known as the acid bath murderer. Literally never heard of him until this morning. Totally blew my mind. But he used concentrated sulfuric acid in 40-gallon drums, I do believe, to basically melt his bodies. He dumped several of them down manholes into sewers, I do believe. But he was a screwed up guy. I mean, most killers are, you know, screwed up. But he wasn't like mentally ill. He was literally just a terrible human being. He did it for money. I mean, he was killing people and then destroying, forging their signatures on papers so he could sell their possessions and get money and forward all their money to them. And then when people would ask about the other victims that he'd already killed, he would kill them instead and take all of their papers and sell all of their stuff and collect money from them as well. So he was hanged to death. I guess that's, you know, something. But this was sulfuric acid, which totally means that sulfuric acid is the way to go. It took a long time to do it. I'm just giving you guys the short version, and the short version is already 6 minutes and 30 seconds long. So, I'm going to have to try and figure out what I want to do for the cover of this book, and I'm going to have to figure out how I want to do it and why he's doing it, but sulfuric acid is not hard to come by. It's incredibly dangerous, and you don't even have to have a license to get it. So, this is what I'm going to use. I'm going to take some more notes. I've already taken notes on hydrofluoric. That's what I started doing about half an hour ago. But I need to jot down some notes on sulfuric and watch some more videos and whatnot. But all in all, productive day when it comes to research. Research is one of my favorite parts of writing. This all blew my mind. I'm not typically a chemist, so either way, ending this video here so I can get back to researching and or writing. I have not decided yet, but I will keep you guys updated on the goings of the Beau Austin series.